You would think the toughest drafts on the planet are the ones with the highest buy-ins. Like, obviously, I do a decent amount of $500 drafts on this stream. Or you would think maybe it's the largest fantasy football tournament on the planet, Best Ball Mania. Well, you would be wrong, because the Poodle has been out for, I want to say, 3 days? There have already been like 50,000 entrants, which is just ridiculous. And every single time I try to get into a draft here, I get absolutely crushed. We're going to hop in. I'm going to try my absolute best to not embarrass myself. But again, for whatever reason, the biggest sweats on the Underdog app, the biggest try hard, whatever the hell you want to call them, are in this tournament. And I can tell you right now, we have one of those guys in this draft room with us. That's going to be Kale at the 6 slot, out here every single day. We have Lee Watley in here at pick 9 as well. That's also one of the biggest sweats you are going to possibly find. So this is going to be a very, very tough live stream. This is not going to be easy. And we are going to try our best to come away with a good team. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for coming to hang out with us. We got Desire Best in this draft as well at pick 2. We got Giants Mez in here at pick 9. Happy to see you. We got Monkey Punch in at 16. Ooh, I'd love to see what tournament you are in there. Ice Mike in at pick 7. And Cardozo MCS, which previously was Mason on roids. Don't know what happened to the name. Yes, we are at pick 11. Now, Astro Ace says, Mason, how do I get into one of these rooms? You just join the draft with us the same time on Underdog, regardless of whatever the tournament is. So here you can see a lot of people got out to this draft at the very beginning of the stream. And of course, if you want to be one of those people in the future streams, hit the bell next to the subscribe button and YouTube will let you know when we go live. But Desire Best going Bijan over Barkley. I know you're in the chat. Can you give me an explanation? Why are we going Bijan over Barkley here? I'm not saying you're wrong. I know a lot of smart people prefer Bijan over Barkley. Like I know the FSC guys are drafting Bijan there. But I would be interested to see your opinion on it. Okay. Let's see. CeeDee Lamb off the board at pick 5. I'm assuming Kale decides to take Jahmyr Gibbs at 6. That's exactly what he does. Desire Best says 15% Barkley already, only 5% Bijan. Okay, so no interesting player take you're going to give me. It's all good. Lee Watley says this heat wave has me sweating. Hey, I'm not going to lie, or I'm going to brag. That's exactly what we're doing. Brag alert incoming. Your boy did get in a 2-hour run with it approximately 98 degrees outside today. It was brutal. Now, did I do anything else productive today? I may or may not have re-downloaded Clash Royale after years of not playing it. And I may or may not have just spent the past 2 hours on Clash Royale. And it was probably the most fun 2 hours I've had in a long time. But Ash and Ginty off the board at 11 to us. Nico, Brian Thomas both go. We are going to try to mix something up here. We are going to try to go RB with Ginty and Achan. I would not expect too many combinations of this. I think it will be a unique start. The team at 10 goes for unique start as well, going with Neighbors and Rashee Rice. And we'll see if we can make the running back work. And yes, I know this is probably the worst news that y'all have seen all day, but I did shave. So I talked about yesterday that we made a deal with the devil. We traded in our ability to draft well in fantasy football drafts to have the best beard and mustache combination on fantasy football YouTube. Now, we did just that. We had a phenomenal beard, a phenomenal mustache. I probably not only had the best beard and mustache combination on fantasy football YouTube, probably the best in Texas as well. I'll be willing to venture that. But also, I had been horrible in our drafts. So I figured if I shave, maybe I get our juju back. I didn't read the exact terms and conditions of the contract that I signed, but I'm assuming no beard, no mustache, and we will be back to drafting well. Okay. And of course, if you wanted to get in a draft with us, I would probably recommend that you avoid these drafts, because if you get in with us, you're going to have to draft against Kale. You're going to have to draft against Lee Watley. It's not a fun time. It's very tough. But you can get in a draft with us or just in the random public lobby on Underdog. I don't even know if I'd recommend the Poodle tournament just because it's been so damn tough. But if you wanted to join a draft, of course, you can find a link to Underdog Fantasy in the description, comment section, live chat. That's where we always have it, with where it says draft with us here. And if you use promo code FLOCK when you sign up to Underdog Fantasy, you'll also be getting a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. And on top of that, you'll get our 2025 fantasy football rankings and draft guide cheat sheets, which are custom tailored to your league settings and the draft platform that you are playing on. And you'll get a free pick'em as well. So a bunch coming with that. But if you wanted to draft on Underdog, you do need to be in one of these states. You can see the map there to see if Underdog is available in your state. And again, I do want to reiterate that these are best ball. So it's not the same as your regular fantasy football league. It's not going to replace it. It's just going to be some extra fun on the side. Now, when we start running back, y'all know I absolutely love Breece Hall here at the 3-4 turn. But to be honest with you, I am not going to be able to take Breece. We put ourselves in a box. We are going to be forced to go wide receiver. So we are going to take Jackson Smith-Njigba at pick 35 as our wide receiver one off the board. And we are just going to be playing catch up at the wide receiver position. And we actually get Terry McLaurin on the way back around. Y'all know I am underweight Terry McLaurin. I've not drafted much of him. We took JSN ahead of him in this draft despite having the later ADP. I prefer the ascending elite talent, or don't want to say elite talent, but he was a great prospect, a great year 2 player, unquestioned alpha in his offense. I prefer that profile over somebody like Terry. But Terry McLaurin round 4 is a lot better than his ADP in the middle of the third. So when we're playing catch up here at wide receiver and we're looking at Terry McLaurin instead of like DJ Moore, yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll take Scary Terry at pick 38. So now we have Genty, Achan, JSN, and Terry. So balanced team, doesn't feel too bad. Rich Sports says, does Underdog have free best ball? No, the cheapest drafts that they have are $3 drafts. I believe $3. But if you deposit $10 on Underdog, you'll get all our rankings, all our draft guide stuff for this season. You'll have $15 in your account because they'll add in another free 5, and you can get in 5 practice drafts before your main redraft league this year. Oh. Down the wrong pipe. Ugh. Excuse me. Brutal. Battle Pants says, YouTube change up the names. I don't know how to get King Rubes back. Why did YouTube change up? It looks like, actually, now I see this. Looks like YouTube is showing y'all's YouTube at now rather than like your Gmail name. So I think you have to change your YouTube at if you want us to be able to recognize you in the chat. We can recognize some people because their profile pic. But Battle Pants' Clash of Clans is the real GOAT. So I have not, one, obviously, I played Clash of Clans a ton, like 15 years ago at this point, which is crazy to say. And 2, I had not played Clash Royale in years. And the issue is I get sucked in. I downloaded Clash Royale on the phone because I had been watching like Jinxie videos where he's like reacting to Clash Royale. I was like, I've been watching this. It looks fun. Let me get Clash Royale. Let me get a game. Played 1 game that led to 2 games. 2 games led to 3 games. 3 games led to 4 games. 4 games led to 5 games. And legit, at least at the very minimum, over the past 2 hours, I've been playing Clash. It may have been closer to about 2.5, 3 hours. Okay, so Joe Mixon off the board, pick 56. And yes, I was rolling with the sneaky Gollum, 100%. So I am wanting to just play catch up a wide receiver here still. So I'm going to take Jordan Addison at pick 59. I have a lot more Kamara than I do almost anybody else in this range. But again, for me, I'm going to be focused in on how do we get wide receiver points on this roster. We already have Genty. We already have Achan holding the fort down. If Kamara makes it back to us at 62, potentially we look to grab Kamara. But what the... Jaden Higgins off the board at pick 60. Jaden Higgins and Jawan Jennings. This team going out of their way to set up a Nico Collins double stack. I'm going to take Godwin. We're playing catch up at wide receiver. Godwin does give us the optionality later on to go with Baker Mayfield if we really need to. So, crazy to see Jaden Higgins. The Doobster says you need to help Jinxie draft. I would love that. That would be a dream of mine. Okay. Desire Best must have been a mistake. Probably had him queued. I don't know, but hopefully it leads to us getting some decent values. Because, I mean, so far in this draft, really the only value that we've gotten is Terry McLaurin in round 4. That's like something that's obviously very unique, but not too much to this draft afterwards. I mean, the big shock, obviously, is the Jaden Higgins pick at 60. Kamara makes it back to Lee Watley, which is an absolute dream for him, I'm sure, because there you're sitting with a 0 RB build. You get Kamara's projectable volume in round 6. Turtle says, Flock, a couple days ago, I had this exact Terry and JSN fall at 11. Ended up with the Monroe London, Terry, and JSN. Ooh, so 4 wide receivers out the gate there. Okay. Burrow goes to the Higgins team. Let me pull something around. I actually think on the site, we're going to have a pretty exciting tool launch that should happen during this stream. So as soon as I get word for it, I'm going to be showing y'all a little something on flockfantasy.com. Which we're about to have a bunch of stuff drop on the site, which will be really exciting. Okay, David Montgomery goes pick 72. Matthew Golden, 73. Once we go, Trevion Henderson makes it to round 7. That team at pick 2 is one of the best teams I've seen all year. And this is Desire Best, of course. He has Bijan, Trevion Henderson at running back, Higgins, Tyreek, Sutton at receiver, the elite tight end with Kittle, and Burrow stacked up at a value with Higgins. Desire Best, congrats on maybe one of the best starts that I've seen in all of drafts this year. Like, that is just straight up ridiculous. Okay, let's see. How are we looking around? So now Mahomes off. We're going to take Jaden Reed. And I think we are fully caught up at wide receiver, which I'm actually... Oh, this is interesting. We could go Brian Robinson. There are wide receivers here that continue to give us quarterback options late. I actually may take Darnell Mooney over Downs. The reason being is this does open up the door for us to get Penix. So this is going to be a 6 wide receiver build. Like, we are for sure done at wide receiver. With JSN, Terry, Addison, Godwin, Jaden Reed, Darnell Mooney. And Bobby Banks says, what are the best drafts to do on Underdog right now? Anything but the freaking Poodle. Like I said, these drafts have been hell. These drafts have been the toughest drafts. At least this tournament. Let me know if y'all have a different experience. Please, please, please. Let me know if y'all think I'm overreacting or if these drafts have been difficult for y'all as well. Because for whatever reason, the Poodle's been brutal. Okay. Let's see. Sean says, do you think Rice will overtake Bowers at his ADP? Did 2 drafts earlier where Bowers fell to 21. If that begins to happen, I will have a ridiculous amount of Bowers. Let me show you my Bowers exposures right now. I'm assuming that we're probably even on Bowers, around 8%. So we were drafting him like right when we first started drafts before I realized how strong the late round tight end values were. Actually, I am underweight Bowers. We have Bowers in 7.3% of drafts. So slightly underweight. But if Bowers falls behind Rice and starts going at like pick 21, I will walk away with a lot of Bowers in July, August. Okay. SRT says, hey, Mason, I'm moving to Texas soon. What would you recommend in terms of cities? So here's my experience in Texas. I grew up in the suburbs of San Antonio. I went to University of Texas at Austin. I left Austin to move to Florida. I missed Austin so much, I moved back to Austin. So for me, if you like nature and the best food you will ever eat, Austin, Texas is the place for you. No matter what in Texas, it's going to be miserably hot. Dallas-Fort Worth area is the fastest growing area of the country, I believe. Super low cost of living, but very corporate. Like, you're going to get like just a lot of chains in Dallas, a lot of suburbs in Dallas. San Antonio is an older city. I do like San Antonio a bit, but I also could be biased there. My favorite, bar none, is Austin, but good Tim Hunting says good climbing gym in Austin too. Mesa Rim. Yeah, I just mainly love the nature in Austin. So that's why I'm going to be a stan of Austin. Okay, let's move this down. We are going to take Bo Nix and then hope that we get Evan Ingram on the way back. Which, if this doesn't happen, we'll be in pain, because then that means we're of freaking course. Of course. We can't have nice things. No. We're not allowed to, for whatever reason. For whatever reason. Purdy doesn't do anything. Caleb doesn't do anything. We're just going to take Najee. If you want to make the argument to go Scatterboo, you can. Najee's in a better offense. Najee has no hope to be the starter outside of an injury in the second half of the season, where Scatterboo does. So really, it is just going to be up to you. You prefer between the two running backs. Tristan says, why not pick Evan Ingram first? Because your boy is an idiot. That's why. Okay. SRT says, yeah, moving from Atlanta, grew up in Memphis and Mobile, Alabama, so heat's not an issue. It's hot here. We should have gone Evan Ingram first. The chat is correct. What? I shaved the mustache. This was supposed to make me a better drafter. And yet we still make this mistake. So, Marvin Mims, welcome to the squad, my friend. Pat Bryant, welcome to the squad, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And the dog's coming in to save the day. What do you think here? Miley, what's your opinion? Should we have taken Evan Ingram first? Great insight. Great insight. That's what we pay you for. Okay. Jared Goff off the board to pick 120. In terms of Goff, Jordan Love goes. Jordan Love was one of those quarterbacks that we were set up to take with Jaden Reed. So now in terms of quarterbacks that are going to be interesting for us, we still have Michael Penix because we took Darnell Mooney. We still have Darnold with JSN, and we still have McCarthy with Addison. Whoa, that's bad. Says nobody drafts better without a mustache. I'm starting to learn that right now, my friend. And Marvin Mims off the board, so never mind. The Marvin Mims possibility is a pipe dream, apparently. Okay. Jimmy says, just looked up the odds of maxing out a best ball at 150 drafts. It's one team to make the finals every 8.5 years. That's crazy. Kind of goes to show how talented yours truly is. 4 years of maxing Best Ball Mania. We've had 2 finals teams, 16th place team there as well. McCarthy goes to the team with Hawkinson, so we are not going to get the McCarthy pairing. Lawrence Stroud do nothing for us. We can go Herbert and then the big Q. honestly, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Why am I that excited to take Kyle Williams? I think that, like, if I'm being honest, my personal opinion here is the Big Q outscores Jack Besh, Hollywood Brown, Kyle Williams. Now, as you can tell, looking at the ADP, nobody agrees with me. So, should you draft your God dang it. I realized we weren't even supposed to take the 7th receiver. I am falling apart. This is not even turning into a bit anymore. This is miserable. We reach on the 7th wide receiver when we didn't need to, or when we shouldn't have. What are we doing? Oh my God. This draft, we just lit $7 on fire. We need collectors. I titled this live stream of Voiding Landmines, and we just walked right into every landmine. And now the dog that just burst in the doors freaking licking her paws like crazy. I'm getting her out of here. I can't deal with this. You got to go. Hey, I'm not in the mood. She's lucky. She's lucky. She's cute. She is lucky. I'll tell you that much. No, it says, at least you got Najee stacked with Herbert also, LOL. Yeah, at least we have Najee as well, ladies and gentlemen. Never mind. Maybe this team isn't as bad as I thought. We fell off big time. Got the mustache. Got overconfident. And now we've lost everything we've ever had. We just had a brain dump, and I want to cry on this stream. I want to go. Here's what we're going to do. I have one more bad draft after this. I fumble the bag one more time. Instead of doing a third draft tonight, we will be streaming Clash Royale. I was on a heater before this stream. I left that heater to go ahead and light $7 on fire. Now, lucky for us, where the Poodles just, like I said, I'm never going to get a Poodle ever again. Growing up, my family didn't have Poodles, but we had like Labradoodles, crap like that. Things mixed with Poodles so they didn't shed. No, never again. Poodles and myself, we do not mix well. We do not belong together. I don't like them. And yeah, I'm going to become a full-time Clash streamer. Yeah, I'm not joining the Poodle. I'm not going to max out the Poodle anymore. We'll take Jaylen Blue. I'm underweight Jaylen Blue. But again, I think his situation's better now than it was whenever we made that video saying you couldn't draft him. Because back then, he was going a lot higher than he does now. While at the same time, who do we want to take here? I kind of want to take Pitts. Or do we go... We're going to go Frymuth with Rodgers in town. But I was planning on maxing the Poodle. And at this point, like... And it's obviously the same exact underdog tournament as anything else. But it's just the people that are in this tournament. I don't know. Like, looking at our team right now, quarterback, we have Bo Nix, Justin Herbert. Running back, we have Ashton Jeanty, Devon Achane, Najee Harris, Jaylen Blue. Wide receiver, we have JSN, Terry McLaurin, Jordan Addison, Chris Godwin, Jaden Reed, Darnell Mooney, the Big Q. And tight end, we have Pat Frymuth. We're going to take 2 more tight ends, possibly another quarterback. Not even to mention, both our quarterbacks have the same bye week right now. The last thing if I ever mention that I'm going to take another wide receiver here, remind me, smack me upside the head, and scream at me that I can't. Lee says, yeah, Poodle drafters are 10x better than Schnauzer drafters. I want to say that's true. Isaac says 6 more for the big dog. If I'm not getting in a big dog right now, after the drafts we've had this week, I'm not getting in a fast $500 draft. There's no way. At minimum, like there was a good 2-week period where every single draft I had, I was like, ooh, I like this team. I like this team. I like this team. You know what we need? Here's what we need. F it. Okay. Here we are. We were seeing ghosts, and this is the issue. We weren't geared up for game time. And it's corgi time. Good news is, hypothetically, say I have 10 bad $7 drafts. Hypothetically, I light $70 on fire. I can do that for weeks, as long as it means I have one good $500 draft. So, and the dog's still looking. Hey, go. Get out here. Come on. Come on. She's laying on the bed and looking at me going, I dare you to try to get me to leave. I dare you to try to get me out of this office. Okay. Let's move this down. I know who we want. Let's see if we get him. Miles Sanders goes 176. Jaylen Wright goes 177. We get Sam Darnold to pair up with JSN as our third quarterback. I don't want to say saving this team, but making this team at least okay. So now we can tell a story. Oh, Bo Nix, we don't need any spike weeks in weeks 15 through 17 for him. Who do we want at tight ends? We'll take the boring Kate on. We can go, oh, we don't need any spike weeks from Bo Nix in weeks 15 through 17. Or honestly, it's the Poodle. You can have a spike week in week 16 from your quarterback and not have one of his wide receivers in advance. It's like a 6-player pool. But hypothetically in Best Ball Mania say, we go, okay, well, we're not going to use Bo Nix at all in weeks 15 through 17. Week 15, we're going to get a Justin Herbert, Quentin Johnston blow-up game. Week 16, we're going to get a Darnold and JSN. And then week 17, maybe another Darnold JSN. So we have Darnold. We're going to get one more tight end and one more running back. Joseph says, just watch Geno go 25 picks at AP. All the quarterbacks are just rising up boards. Like every single quarterback we wanted in this draft. Other than Sam Darnold. Like all our potential stacking options went 10 picks before ADP. Two Shot says, can we get a Clash Royale deck reveal? My Clash Royale deck would be embarrassing. It's, like I said, I haven't played Clash Royale in years. I downloaded it. I was running with whatever we had last. It has Gollum in it. And we were kicking butt. Like, no lie, I swear to God. I won like 7 or 8 matches right away. I'm assuming it means like my trophy level wasn't accurate and I was just playing really bad people. Oh, that was impressive. But then we advanced to like a higher tournament level or higher arena, whatever it was. And then everybody's just way higher level than I am and I can't win. So then I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll stream. Okay. Two Shot says, LMFAO. I recently got it. I got into it recently again, too, because of Jinxie. Yeah, that's exactly why. I was like watching the Jinxie YouTube videos of him doing it. And I was like, damn, this looks fun. So I re-downloaded it today. Which honestly, like, it seems like it will be. My bike's at the shop right now, getting like maintenance on it. But once I get the bike back and I start hitting the stationary bike again, y'all know right now I do underdog drafts and stationary bike, but mixing into Clash Royale and stationary bike wouldn't be too bad of a setup. We're going to take Terrence Ferguson as our third tight end here. I like Ferguson. And we'll see what the 5th running back we get is. I will probably take somebody y'all are going to hate, but it is what it is. Kareem Hunt goes. Kareem Hunt is who we wanted. So we'll take the other Kansas City Chiefs running back and just go what if. We'll take Rashad Smith. So here's the squad. Is it good? No. Is it as bad as the teams we've been drafting over the past week? Yes. Running back, Genty, Devon Achane, Najee Harris, Jaden Blue, Rashad Smith. Wide receiver, JSN, Terry McLaurin, Jordan Addison, Chris Godwin, Jaden Reed, Darnell Mooney, Quentin Johnston. Quarterback, an unstacked Bo Nix, Justin Herbert with the big Q and Najee, and Darnold with JSN. And tight end, we have Pat Frymuth, Kate Otten, and Terrence Ferguson. So let's go ahead and let's get into a different tournament. I'm not freaking, I may not even do another Poodle draft. I may not max this out anymore. Let's get into the corgi. I've been saving my single entry corgi. If you have not used yours already, this is the time to get in. And if you are new to Underdog, this is a tournament that I would highly recommend for you. Let me go through and just break this down. It's a $5 buy-in. Where are we picking? We're picking a 10. So we maybe get a chance to redeem ourselves here. But this is an Underdog tournament with a $5 buy-in. It's a single entry. You can only draft one corgi team. I'm only going to get one of these drafts to make this right. $25K to first, $15K to second, $10K to third, $7,500 for fourth, all the way down the line. Here is how you get a $5 buy-in with $25,000 to first place. To make the fantasy football playoff tournament in weeks 1 through 14, you have to be one of the top 2 highest scoring teams in this 12-team draft. Now, if you are that, then in week 15, you are going to be put against 9 other people in a pool. If you are the highest scoring team against those 9 other people, you'll advance to week 16, where you'll go against 4 other people. Where if you're the highest scorer out of those 4, that total of 5 people, you'll advance to week 17 with 75 total people. And that's how you get a $5 buy-in equaling $25K for first, $15K for second. We're going to be at pick 10, numero 10. And it may be a similar setup to what we had in the last draft, right? And we'll figure it out. Eliminated Mark says, I got Vinny, raised my IQ enough to get in with him. That is nice to see. We got Zach in here with us at the 101. Let me know if anybody else is in this draft with us. Okay. I like this squeeze bottle. I can actually drink water with the helmet on. We got CG in here at 9. Bascus, who do you like at the 102? In general, I'm just going to be very boring with the tier top 6 guys. I'm going to try to be average exposure to Chase, Lamb, Bijan, Jefferson, Barkley, Gibbs. So if Barkley's the guy that goes at 2 all the time, I'm just going to take Barkley and I'll take Bijan at 3. I'll take Jefferson at 4 whenever we get him there. During this draft with us at 4. Gameplay Plus in this draft with us at 5. YouTube with Colton in this draft with us at 12. So I'm having to go up against a lot of y'all, which is not the best news. We are going to try something a little bit different than the last draft. We're going to take Amon-Ra St. Brown at 10. Okay, Derrick Henry goes at 11. Y'all know me. I wasn't really looking at Derrick Henry at pick 15, so probably good news for me. Okay. Genty goes at 12. Nico at 13. Let's see if the Derrick Henry team looks to do something unique. They go London. So, yeah, they have a unique start. We're going to get Brian Thomas here to pair up with Amon-Ra St. Brown, which I am very excited about. I actually think this can be a good team. We got out of the Poodle. We're in the Corgi now. Not as tough a competition, if you ask me, or at least from what I've seen. Can't be tougher than the Poodle. I've never seen anything be as tough as the Poodle. So I'll figure this out. We'll figure this out. And going wide receiver out the gate, this is most likely going to lead us to only drafting 6 or 7 wide receivers in this draft. Vinny says, I saw Jefferson overtake Saquon at pick 2 based on ADP. Just noticed it today. Yeah, we were going Jefferson over Barkley for a while. Like I said, until like Travis Hunter started falling to the 4-5 turn. And then Joe Mixon and RJ Harvey aren't selections there anymore after Nick Chubb and J.K. Dobbins signed. So I'm actually like flipped. Early in the offseason, I was taking Jefferson ahead of Barkley, but now I've actually preferred the running back there for my builds. So I am slowly but surely bumping up my exposure to Barkley. I'm at 7.8%. I was very much underweight to Barkley previously. And I was very much overweight Jefferson, but they're coming in a lot closer than they were. Jefferson at 9.3. I'd expect them to probably average out to about 8. Like I said, I'm not trying to make any like bold takes with the first 6 picks. I'm going to be right around 8%. Chase, Lamb, Bijan, Jefferson, Barkley, and Gibbs. I'll probably actually be, when it's all said and done, I'll probably have the most Gibbs because I definitely view him as a top 6 name. And he's the only player that ever falls to 7. Okay. Yeah, I really like this start as well. Like, I would be singing and dancing right now if it wasn't for the fact that I've messed up so many drafts lately. It's not even funny. And, of course, if y'all wanted to draft with us, you could always find the link in the live chat. And if y'all want to see a third draft in this live stream, hit the bell. I'm sorry. Hit that like button. I can't even speak right now. I got clash on the mind, clash on the brain. Okay. The Raphael says Gibbs could break fantasy. If Montgomery goes down, Gibbs is the number 1 overall player in fantasy football. And I don't even think it's close. Montgomery goes down, I think Gibbs has CMC level ceiling. CMC level upside. But it would take a Montgomery injury more likely than not. We'll take Devontae Adams at 34. I think getting Adams and Brian Thomas paired up together will be a little bit of a unique start in this tournament. And also, if you're looking at this setup, we have 3 wide receivers with the week 8 bye. So probably a situation in which first 3 picks by week 8, we're only going to take 6 wide receivers with this team now, especially as we grab the 3rd wide receiver in the 3rd rounds. So I will most likely be avoiding wide receivers with a week 8 bye through the rest of this. Josh Allen goes 37. Let me check in on something real quick. Lamar off the board. So that actually sucks for us. We were hoping that we were getting one of the elite quarterbacks. I think we'll take James Cook, balance things out. Again, not trying to have any crazy builds in this. And if we're looking at James Cook in comparison to some of these other guys, I know that we're underweight Cook and we have more exposure to Chuba Hubbard in round 5. If y'all remember, Chuba Hubbard used to go at the 5-6 turn. Now Hubbard's creeped up where our ability to get Chuba Hubbard at pick 58's probably lessened. So we'll just play it safe. And no, Jaden Daniels is not elite enough for me. I'm underweight Jaden Daniels. I'd rather have Jalen Hurts in round 5. I'm going to try to be slightly overweight Allen, Lamar, and overweight Jalen Hurts as well, but I'm going to be underweight Jaden Daniels. Raphael says, Mason, will you have a video out for your favorite best ball picks past round 14? Probably not. Specifically videos I try to make, to be honest with you. I try to make videos that can apply to best ball and redraft. Because like if I make a video saying like, hey, I think Quentin Johnston's a decent value in best ball drafts, I don't know if it's a good You know what we're going to do here? F it. We're going to get in a big dog. People are telling me a big dog's about to fill. We'll get in. Okay. Let's see if the big dog actually fills. But, like, if I go through and make a video saying, like, oh, Quentin Johnston's a good value in underdog drafts, and then somebody watches it that's playing in an ESPN league where they start 2 wide receivers, 1 flex. In a format like that, there's no reason to ever take a player like Quentin Johnston. So, I try to make videos that, like, people can use actionable advice for both formats. And then obviously we'll talk about strictly best ball things in the stream. Okay, let's see what makes it back to us. True Bubbard goes 54. That's what I figured. Figured we were not going to be able to get him. Okay. Sports Jumper says, play me in Clash Royale. Y'all would smoke me in Clash Royale. Like I said, I've played Clash Royale now at this point once over the past, like, 2 years. Joe Mixon. Jennings goes, so we're actually going to get a wide receiver value here at pick 58. And again, we are going out of our way to hopefully avoid wide receivers with a week 8 bye. Neither Ridley or Waddle have that. And also with our wide receivers here, we do have a lot of optionality with the quarterbacks that we can get later. And the $500 draft just filled, so. And we just got pick 6. Give me a second to change this title. We're getting in a $500 draft. Okay. Big dogs filled. Titles changed. We're bouncing into a big dog from here. Let's take Trevion Henderson. And we get the best pick in the draft. We get pick 6. So this is a good day indeed, ladies and gentlemen. The draft's firing up right now, and let's pray to God. And you know what? Look who we're drafting next to. Of course. Of course. We have Vinny, of all people. So, I'm legit nervous about this, to be honest. Like, our drafts have been in the Poodle just brutal. The corgi, we had a good start, but we kind of got lucky. But let me know if anybody else made it in here. But we get the best pick, in my opinion. At least my favorite pick. And like I said, to be honest with you, I think the $500 drafts are easier than the $7 Poodles. But yeah, every single person in this draft has the badge. So it's not going to be an easy one. And we'll see what happens. Vinny's got old money. If y'all don't know, Vinny is the great-great-grandson of George Washington. Okay, let's move this over. Gibbs goes at 4. Okay. This is going to be good. This is going to be a good one. $500 draft where we are starting Bijan at 6. This is what we're looking for. And it is time to lock in. It is time to lock in, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm nervous. I'm sweating. I don't know. I was so frustrated with that first draft that we did. I still almost want to cry. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's just brutal. Like, every single day getting in these drafts and, like, for 4 days straight not liking my teams. Liam goes Brian Thomas Genty at the turn, which looks great. Yeah, so that team at 8 goes Drake London, mixing it up. Going to give a lot of value to a lot of these teams at the turn. The team at 11 gets Neighbors and Amon-Ra St. Brown as well. So far, if you were in this draft, it looks like the places that you would want to have been is you'd want to either been at pick 6 or at pick 11, 12. Like, those are the spots that would have been the best. So let's go. Ladd McConkey goes 17. Other draft, we're going to auto Debo, but let's prep. We'll see what Vinny does. What is Vinny going to do? Vinny started with McCaffrey at 7. He's taking it down. He goes T. Higgins. How many Bijan and AJ Brown teams will there be in the big dog? I've won this tournament before with AJ Brown for $100K back in the day. And let's see if we can run it back. AJ Brown, you've done us well before. This puts us in a spot where we could possibly be targeting Jalen Hurts in the 5th. Ooh. Let's go. Vinny going with the unique start of CMC and Higgins. And Hard says Vinny took T. Higgins at 13 in the other draft I was in with him. So he's going with that unique build. In terms of CMC Higgins teams, really won't be any, with CMC going at the 1-2 turn and mixing into the middle of the first in all these tournaments, and Higgins being exclusively a 2-3 turn pick. Also gives you the setup to take Burrow in the 6th. Yeah, I think that's what he's doing. I think he's going for that. I don't want to out him on the thing, but let's go. Bijan Robinson, AJ Brown. Okay, all those $7 drafts that we lit on fire. The torture we put ourselves through. The mistakes that were made was all for this moment. All for this moment. I'm not taking Hurts at 43. Maybe Devonta Smith. Bucky Irving goes off at 23 to the Barkley team. Trey McBride goes 24. And yeah, this is another draft where you have Bowers falling behind Rice as well as Taylor. Let's go. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Chase Brown off 25. So they are obviously building around the Bengals game. Smaller contest. So honestly, I don't love it. Jacobs, Harrison, Adams. I think y'all know the receiver I like in this range. I'll just let y'all know. This is plan A. Tyreek's plan A. Garrett Wilson's plan B. We'll see what the team at 1 gives us. Sorry, the team at 29. Okay. What is this team doing? They went Rice in the 2nd, Lamb in the 1st. They go Terry McLaurin, so they're going to give us our plan A. We're going to go with Tyreek Hill at pick 30. So, let's go. Let's go. I'm freaking starving, but we got to make sure we're still locked in. We got that other draft going on the other monitor. Honestly, you can light that $5 on fire. That thing is 1% of this. So JSN, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall. So Garrett Wilson falls a decent bit here to pick 32 in this draft. Yeah, I think Wilson has been a faller somewhat. Y'all know, like I said, my favorite wide receiver here in round 3 is Tyreek, personally. Could be a horrible call, could be horribly wrong, but that's the direction I've been going in as of late. Lamar Jackson off at 34. Other draft, we take Jaden Higgins. We are done at wide receiver. Jaden Daniels goes at 35 before Allen. I'd assume Liam here goes Josh Allen at 36, but I could be wrong. Yeah, I'd assume the Josh Allen pick is an easy one. Yeah, Josh Allen off the board at 36. Mike Evans goes 37. So it's taking the clear ADP values at that point. I'm not going to lie, after playing Clash Royale for the past 2 hours, it's just kind of... Ugh. This kind of feels like Clash Royale. Go. Ooh, drop the skellies. Drop the Tesla tower. Log. Okay. Tet off the board at 40. Some people will be upset with me calling him Tet, but it is what it is. We're just going to take in the other drafts and unstack Bo. Okay, James Cook off. So it looks like this is going to be a wide receiver pick. Here, get ready. This is us. This is us rolling, all right. We're rolling the dice. Last time we won this tournament, we had A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith paired together with no Jalen Hurts. Now, don't get it twisted. We want Jalen Hurts in the 5th round in this draft. That's the hope. But we have won the tournament before with the receivers without the quarterback. That's not plan A. That's not plan A. But we will see what happens. Dear God, what I need to do, if y'all don't know, for like all my workout stuff, I'm always wearing a heart rate monitor. I need to throw on the heart rate monitor and find a way to like put my heart rate on the screen for y'all, because this thing is pounding. Okay. Sutton off. So that team at 2 decides to wait until round 5 for their first receiver. Kittle would have been my other play there at 43. If we would have taken a wide receiver in round 1 like Lamb, I probably would have opted to go with Kittle at 43. All right, Jalen Hurts goes 52. We get sniped, of course. Of course. Ridley off. Spam the chat. Kenneth Walker or Travis Hunter? Kenneth Walker or Travis Hunter? Running back, we have Bijan. Wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Tyreek, Devonta Smith. Let's see. We got Walker, Hunter, Walker, Chuba, Hunter, Walker. Hunter, Walker, Hunter. We're going to go Walker. Vinny immediately takes Travis Hunter after. Chuba Hubbard off the board at 56. Oh, Mason Locken. Don't get tilted. Don't tilt your face off and ruin the rest of this draft. Juwan Jennings goes 58. My thought process here is super large field contest like Best Ball Mania. I think you can just shoot for the absolute stars with Travis Hunter. Here in the big dog, smaller field contest, floor matters a little bit more here than it does in Best Ball Mania, of course. I think Kenneth Walker does still give you a nice little ceiling, but I think at the same time you have a much higher floor. So super, super close between the two, though. Okay. And like I said, we still have won this tournament for 100K with A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith with no Hurts. Again, I want to reiterate, that was never our plan A. Our plan A was to get Jalen Hurts at 54. Hindsight being 2020, Kittle probably would have been the better pick at 43, knowing that we don't get Jalen Hurts. But at the same time, I don't regret it because I think it was the right decision. I think a lot of times here, if you get A.J. Brown at 19, Devonta Smith at 43, you do put yourself in a really good spot to get Jalen Hurts at 54 and have the best team in the draft through the first 5 rounds. Okay. So we're looking at the other draft real quick. Probably going to go Lawrence. Yeah, it's our third QB. Okay. Addison, 62. Harvey, 63. Liam goes Mixon, Henderson on the turn. I love that we have the helmet on for this, by the way. I don't want to say much until we're on the clock. Especially knowing if Vinny goes Godwin. I wanted Godwin because Godwin gave us a quarterback option later on the way that Olave doesn't. I like Olave's projection here in comparison to the other wide receivers. The issue with Olave is you take him and it doesn't open a door for another quarterback for you. We take Godwin there at 67, and we do get the optionality of going with a Baker Mayfield later, which we need the options at quarterback, knowing that 2 of our receivers, their quarterback's already gone with Jalen Hurts. So we'll go Olave. Olave was not plan A. Godwin was plan A, but it is what it is. And that team had 5 deciding to go with 6 wide receivers straight. Super interesting. I can show you real quick what this looks like. You take 6 wide receivers out the gate on Underdog. And you're obviously done drafting. Or I don't want to say obviously. But in Best Ball Mania, historically, there have been 1,500 teams who've done it over the past 4 years, and they've had decent rates. Okay. That team at 2 is kind of forced to go wide receiver, right? No wide receiver through the first 4 rounds. They're going to have to play catch up. Team at 2 probably hates the team at 5. Jaden Reed off at 73. We have a well-balanced squad at this point. Again, when we're looking at wide receivers through the middle rounds, I do really want to get guys that give us the optionality for quarterbacks in rounds 11, 12, 13. Caleb Johnson goes 75. Laporta 76. Laporta would have been one of those players that gave us quarterback optionality later. So, like, here's an example of a wide receiver range in which Khalil Shakir is not in play for me with this team. We need a wide receiver that's going to give us a quarterback later. That is both Matthew Golden and Stephon Diggs. I think he can go either or. Here for this draft, we will take Matthew Golden. We'll open up the possibility for us to get Jordan Love. So now our options at quarterback are like Jordan Love and Tua. So, the Raphael says, what's the advance rate for the big dog? All right, so here is the setup, just in case you don't know. Big dog, the 2 highest scoring teams in this 12-team draft are going to advance to the Fantasy Football Playoff Tournament, where in Week 15, you'll go up against 5 other people. If you're the highest scoring team, you'll advance to Week 16, where you'll go up against 5 other people. If you're the highest scoring team, you'll advance to Week 17, where there's a 10-person final. So Week 15, Week 16 is pretty much just as tough as Week 17 here. Lee says, Vinny killing it right now. Love every single player. Yeah. You know what I just noticed? Vinny got screwed with Burrow. Yeah, if you look at this setup, Vinny took Higgins, I'm assuming with the hope that he had Burrow at pick 66. And then that team at pick 9 just goes ahead and they take an unstacked Burrow at 64. But Vinny so far is CMC Pacheco at running back and wide receiver Higgins, JSN, DK Metcalf, Travis Hunter, Chris Godwin. Liam goes Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney would have been a receiver I would have taken at 91 to open up Michael Penix for us. Vinny says, indeed, love an unstacked Burrow at 64. Henry says, if Vinny had got Burrow, you would have got Godwin. So you both got screwed, I know. But also that team that took Burrow, they could have taken Godwin instead, right? Egbuka off 86. Egbuka would have been our pick at 91. That would have given us another option at quarterback. So let's see what happens. God, my phone is freaking spazzing. I guess I'm on the clock in the other one. Okay, we get Eckler. Okay, Cup, Hawk, both go. Ayuk does open us up to Purdy. Think. We'll take Ayuk as our wide receiver 6. We're probably done at receiver. I almost wanted to go with Mahomes and then on the way back take Kelsey. But we had the first draft of the live stream where we made the idiotic mistake of taking Bo Nix and hoping that we were going to get Evan Ingram on the way back. So I don't want to go with Mahomes and not get Kelsey and then just smash my desk into 1,000 pieces. Yeah, so that team there at 5 takes Mahomes and yeah, they get boxed out of Kelsey. Which that team at 2 is horrible. I'm sorry if you're in this stream, but Sutton, Debo, Myers as your wide receiver trio, and at the same time going bully quarterback with Kittle, Kelsey feels very bad. I'm sorry, bully tight end. Like you can go robust RB or you can go bully tight end, but you can't do both. I'll tell you that much. And we're going to get Brock Purdy as our first quarterback to pair up with Ayuk. So thank God something got into my brain to tell me not to take Mahomes. Oh, Team 5 does have Rice. Never mind. The Mahomes pick makes a lot of sense for the team at 5, regardless of them getting Kelsey or not. So Mahomes should have gone to the team at 5. The team at 5 made a good play. Not talking down on team at 5 at all. Team at 2 is cooked. $500 donation. Team at 2 has Barkley, Bucky, Jacobs, Jordan Mason at running back, Kittle and Kelsey at tight ends, and their wide receivers are Sutton, Debo, Myers. Like, if you've seen the wide receivers that go off the board in rounds 10, 11, 12, you know why that's not ideal. So, now we are sitting quarterback with Purdy paired up with Ayuk. Running back, we have Bijan, Kenneth Walker. Wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Tyreek, Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, Matthew Golden, Brains, and Ayuk. Vinny takes Tracy. Fields goes 104 to the Garrett Wilson team. Caleb goes 105 to a team that doesn't have any Bears. Team at 9 does not care about stacks at all. They just go and get their guys. Liam takes Jonnu and Bateman. I definitely wouldn't have been interested in Bateman, but that's because I have 6 wide receivers in the first 8 rounds. Luther Burden goes 111. Let's swing this back. Looking at quarterback stacking options that we have at this point. Bo Nix, we don't have Sutton. Y'all know I don't like Marvin Mims. Dak Prescott, we have no Cowboys. Goff, we have no Lions. May, we have no Pats. God, my stomach's rumbling. David Njoku off 112. This is looking good for us. Oh, I'm hungry for who's falling. Dobbins 113. Thank you very much. Vinny goes Tyler Warren. We'll take an unstacked Bo Nix. Yes, please, and thank you. Small field contest, like we showed. Finalists, 10 people in it. Week 16, 6 people. Week 15, 6 people. I'm fine going with a quarterback that I think is going to give us a lot of points and having a 3 QB build here. So we're going to take Bo Nix. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, well, you can get Marvin Mims on the way back. Spoiler alert. I'm not taking Marvin Mims. Call me an idiot. You're allowed to do whatever the hell you want. But we are just going to lock in the high floor ceiling combo at quarterback. And I'm liking the team. I'm liking the squad. Nothing wrong with an unstacked Bo Nix here. Jordan Love goes 121. Love would have been in play for us to take with Matthew Golden. Okay, Jared Goff goes 122. Brandon says Mims has so much upside. Nothing against Marvin Mims, but I have A.J. Brown, Tyreek, Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, Matthew Golden, Brandon Ayuk. I have bigger fish to fry than wide receiver. Okay. See what Hooded does. I like the name Hooded on Underdog. I know they snipe us from Jalen Hurts, but that's a clean username. Yeah. See what they do. They go Ramondre. See what Eagles does. I'm assuming they take a running back. Their running back room, Swift, Etienne, Najee. They go Herbert. We'll take Cam Scatterbo. I'm underweight. I have way more Tracy, but we're getting him at pick 126. If y'all remember all season now, we've been saying, I'm just going to take the cheaper running back in New York. So when Tyrone Tracy was the cheaper running back, I was overweight Tyrone Tracy and underweight Cam Scatterbo. Now that Cam Scatterbo is going 23 picks after Tracy, I will flip that. If this is how the ADP is going to be set up, I will be overweight Scatterbo and I will be underweight Tracy going into the future. And as a running back 3, I like it. That team at 9, there have been some weird picks in this draft. Goes Hawkinson, David Njoku, and then Loveland is a third tight end. They have both their, I guess they have Caleb now paired up with Loveland. So like that's a fine pick for like the Loveland value, but for like, why did you take David Njoku there? Maybe that's what I don't get. The other draft, we just lit $5 on fire because I wasn't paying attention and auto the 7th receiver when we needed 3 tight ends. So we'll only have like freaking Isaiah Likely and Terrence Ferguson. Okay, let me just confirm. I should only be taking 6 wide receivers in this build. Yeah, definitely, especially smaller field contest. Okay. Blake says, what do you think of Liam's team? Brian Thomas, Genty, Allen Evans, and then Mixon, Henderson. Great start through the first 6. You get the Shakir falling value to pair up with Allen. Mooney to play catch up at wide receiver. A Jonnu 108, Bateman, Kincaid to pair up with Allen, Marvin Mims 133. Love the team. The only picks that maybe I personally don't love would be 108, 109. But outside of that, I think it's a great squad. Okay, let's move this over. Okay. I think we go Ray Davis. I'm not going to speak too much on why, but we're going to go Ray Davis. And we can maybe speak more on why when we're up on the clock again. So now running back, we have Bijan, Kenneth Walker, Cam Scatterbo, Ray Davis. Wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, Matthew Golden, Brandon Ayuk. Quarterback, we have Purdy stacked with Ayuk. We have Bo Nix unstacked. Okay. Isaac Grindo goes 142. Grindo's been a big-time faller. Eagles takes Trey Benson. The CJ Stroud team was, I believe, an unstacked Stroud build, which is completely fine in my opinion for the same reason we take Bo Nix. Tyler Algier off 145. I think this is like one of the best drafts that we've had in a long time, and it's exactly when we needed it. If that team did not take Dallas Goedert after sniping us on Jalen Hurts, I would have lost my mind. And I didn't even notice freaking Tua off the board to a team that has 4 wide receivers in the first 13 rounds. Oh my gosh. What are we doing here? I'm not taking another receiver. I like the big Q. Y'all know that, but I think we may go likely. Bryce Young feels rich here, especially when we don't have a Young stack. Out of these late quarterback options, we don't have any stacks. I don't necessarily think any of that matters. We'll take likely. Specifically, the reason we passed on Stroud in the previous round for Ray Davis is because I was operating under the assumption we were going to get 2 on the way back around for Tyreek. But clearly does not happen. So I got all the teams in this draft. Team at 1, Chase, McBride, Chase Brown, George Pickens, Flowers, Judkins, Jaden Reed, Jaylen Warren, Jaden Higgins, Drake May, Jordan Love, Austin Eckler, Tyler Algier. Fine team. Doesn't seem like anything special, but not bad. Team at 2, bad team. Barkley, Bucky, Jacobs, Jordan Mason at running back. Tight end, you have George Kittle, Travis Kelce. Wide receivers, Sutton, Debo, Jacoby Myers, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Legette. Quarterback, you have an unstacked Dak Prescott, and you have an unstacked Jared Goff. Team at 3, Jefferson, Bowers, Harrison, Hampton, Waddle, Montgomery, Caleb, Kyler, Keon, Charbonnet, Kraft, Garindo, Tua. I hate you for sniping us on Tua, but seems like a solid squad. Team at 4, Gibbs, Taylor, Adams, DJ Moore, Jalen Hurts, Ricky Pearsall, Laporta, Brian Robinson, Shaheed, Kirk, Ramadre, Stroud, Dallas Goedert. I hate you for sniping us on Jalen Hurts, but looks like a good team. Team at 5, Lamb, Rice, Terry, Jameson, Ridley, Judy at wide receiver. Running back, Swift, Etienne, Najee, Benson. Quarterback, Mahomes paired with Rice. Herbert paired with nobody. And then tight end, Ferguson. Seems like an okay team. Let's move this back. I'm probably going to go with an unsack Cam Ward. Yeah, we're for sure going to take Cam Ward. We'll take Cam Ward, and then we will set ourselves up with Chig later on. So team 6, at running back, Bijan, Kenneth Walker, Cam Scattaboo, Ray Davis. Quarterback, Purdy, Bo Nix, Cam Ward. Wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Tyreek Hill, Devonta Smith, Chris Olave, Matthew Golden, Brandon Ayuk. Tight end, Isaiah Likely. No lie, I have no idea how the hell Team 6 pulled this off. This is what we call a textbook definition of a God squad. This is a team that has no shot to lose. Like, the floor of this team is it's the second highest scoring team in this pod. And the ceiling of this team is it's the highest scoring team to ever have been drafted in the big dog. So, nuts. Team at 7. CMC, Pacheco, Tracy, Rashad White at running back. Quarterback, Baker paired with Godwin. Lawrence paired with Hunter. Wide receiver, Higgins, JSN, DK Metcalf, Travis Hunter, Chris Godwin. The big Q, tight end, Tyler Warren, and Pat Frymuth. Maybe I'm biased because I love Tyler Warren. I love the big Q. I got a lot of Rashad White. You get the Baker value. You get the Lawrence value. I think Vinny's team crushes. I'm too tired to look at any of the others. We got to lock in. Wan'Dale Robinson off at 170. Jalen Noel 171. Braylon Allen 172. I'd assume Eagles is going with the running back, but I could be wrong. Guess maybe they go quarterback, right? What do they have? They have Mahomes and Herbert. Yeah, quarterback's on the table. Tight end's on the table as well. Anything but a receiver for him, I would assume. I'd hope that they take a wide receiver. It'd be great for us. I'm not taking McMillan. They go Gesicki. I'd probably go Roshan. We will take Roschon Johnson as our 5th RB. And again, I think Roschon's more interesting than ever, knowing that Chubb and Dobbins are no longer threats in Chicago. Yeah, Team 2 takes the 3rd tight end with Zach Ertz. So. And Vinny gets Jalen McMillan at a massive value to pair up with Baker. Yeah, Vinny's crushing this draft. I can't drink water. Hooded says the hoodie's first big dog and I won. Okay, I'm not going to lie. I may or may not hate you, my friend. You sniping Jalen Hurts on us was brutal. Now, with that being said, 5th round Jalen Hurts, 13th round Dallas Goedert is great. So I hate you, but I love your team. I'll say that much. Hate you, but I love your team. Liam goes Will Shipley, Miles Sanders there at the turn. And yeah, Liam also paired up Geno and Jack Besh, 156, 157, which looks great. That's one of the best teams that we've drafted in a while, and it's when we needed it most. So if this was Best Ball Mania, and I know a lot of people don't draft in the smaller field contest on Underdog like this. So, hear me out. Maybe you go with the 7th wide receiver, and maybe you go with a slimmer running back room with only 5. But with this being a smaller field contest, for me personally, I am going to go ahead. I will take the 6th running back and the 3 tight ends. Okay. Do we want Chubb? Yeah, sure. We'll take Chubb. Okay. And then I'm assuming we're just double tapping tight ends to end this. Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing we can do. The 6th running back versus the 7th receiver could have been a conversation. What a smart person may have done is they may have passed on the 6th running back in favor of going ahead and getting one of the late round wide receivers that would have correlated with Cam Ward. Maybe they would have gone through and maybe they would have taken Tyler Lockett. If it was Best Ball Mania, if it was a puppy tournament, very likely you should opt to pass on Nick Chubb in favor of going and getting that wide receiver that will correlate with your 3rd QB. But here we are just going to play it safe. We're going to take the 6th RB. Okay. Aaron says, any big wins last season? May sadly no, my friend. We've tweeted it out before. I'm not going to pull up the tweet for the 1,000th time, but we had phenomenal advance rates between like all the tournaments we entered in with the high volume. We got a team to the Best Ball Mania finals as well, but we were in the $500 drafts and we were in the $1,000 drafts last year, and we had good advance rates for them. But once we got to weeks 15 and 16, we didn't make any of those teams to the week 17 final, and our BBM week 17 team got absolutely crushed. It was built around like the Nico, Lamar, Flowers, Isaiah Likely, Baltimore, Houston game, and CJ Stroud crapped the bed. So in my opinion, we had great results last year and still lost money, which is a sad scene. Okay. Deonta Thornton goes 194. And we are just going to go tight end here. Lock it off 195. Let me see real quick with the RotoViz Construction Explorer. So I know I'm saying that we should have taken the 6th running back, but let me make sure. We go RB1 in round 1, RB2 in round 5. So we're going to take Mason Taylor. Easy pick, low volume passing attack, but also you have Garrett Wilson and nothing else. And good prospect, good draft capital as well. So let me see. A running back in round 1, running back 2 in round 5, RB3 in round 11. I want to be optimizing for playoff advancement. And they're just, I don't have this set up correctly. We need to maybe widen so we get a larger sample. Yeah, the best semifinals rate for this build was the 6 RBs, but it's such a small sample. Only 6,500 teams drafted the way that I have this in here. RB1, let's just say RB1 before round 3. Will that give us more teams? Yeah, it says the highest playoff advancement rate was 6 RBs. Bucky Wild says, pleasure drafting my first big. Well, what pick were you at? Oh, Bucky plays in at 3. Yeah, I liked your team. Again, you're another person that I hate for sniping us on Tua, but you had a good squad. I'll at least be honest. I don't like you, but I like your team. Juwan Johnson goes 2-9. Do we just take Jatavion Sanders? Yeah, Chig's been long gone. Obviously, we were hoping for Chig for Cam Ward, but we didn't get an option to take him. We'll take Jatavion Sanders there at tight ends. And here's the squad. Best team ever? No. What would have made it the best team ever? Us getting Jalen Hurts in the 5th. That would have been incredible. But I think it would be a very bad Best Ball Mania team. I think it would be a very bad puppy team. Smaller field contest where week 15 is a 6-player pool. Week 16 is a 6-player pool. Week 17 is a 10-player pool. I don't think it's the worst squad. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today. We've yet to have a very good draft in quite some time. I don't know what it is. I shaved the mustache. I shaved the beard. It's long gone. We're back clean shaven. And it's still been brutal. Maybe we need a day off. Maybe that day is tomorrow. Sal and I are going to be on a boat for his birthday tomorrow. Shout out Sal. Happy birthday. Maybe I don't stream tomorrow. Maybe we take a day off. Reset. Get the mentals right. Come back stronger than ever. If I do stream tomorrow, it will be early-ish. It will be like noon. Somewhere around there. But again, if you want to come out to that, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. Appreciate you. Except the people who snipe me on Jalen Hurts and Tua. I don't appreciate y'all. Y'all are turds. I hope you have a horrible weekend. But everybody else, I hope y'all have a great weekend.